Hi, everyone. Welcome again to this episode of The Muse. Joelle, welcome back.
Hello. After disappearing.
After disappearing with the new moon of this month, we're reappearing again with this new episode. Thank you for...
I waned.
We both waned, I think.
I think so.
We're going to be talking about the full moon in Libra. We're going to be talking about the eclipses that we're, the eclipses season that we're entering.
You're already, yeah.
And we are recording on the equinox, on the day of the equinox.
Yay!
So we thought of starting with a little guided meditation to start.
Oh, not with a happy equinox, everyone.
A blessed equinox, rather.
Let it be blessed. Yes.
Happy equinox. We need
a bit of a stretch, maybe.
With a little stretch, exactly. So, today is a day of celebration still, is a day of ceremony still. It's a day of transition of seasons, and traditionally, the equinoxes and the solstices are celebrated regardless, because they are transitions in the seasons in nature, and also what nature mimics inside of us. So we thought of starting this episode with kind of a tuning in, connecting with the sacred time, the sacred day. And from there, we're entering into what the full moon in Libra is about on the 25th, and the eclipses season. So if you'd like, as you're listening to us, without wanting or without needing to look at your screen, you can listen to us, the words and also the energy that is being relayed. If you feel like closing your eyes and being aware of your breath. We always come back to the breath. The breath is the bridge, the breath is the anchor. And however it is, if it's shallow, be it, if it's deep, be it as well. And notice where you're sitting. The body, the weight of your body on the ground or on your chair or on your sofa. And as you're breathing, allow and invite a sense of being here with us. Bringing in the image of being in a circle together. In ceremony, we always say, the circle continues. And as we are with you here, we're invoking the circle, the energy of the circle, to be sitting with each other in a circle. A symbol of life, a symbol of connection, a symbol of continuation. And imagining that you are part of a circle that extends to everyone who is sitting with you in this circle. People you know and people that you don't know. And as we're sitting side by side, our breath starts synchronizing. And instead of an individual in the circle breathing, the circle itself is breathing. And at the center of this circle is a fire. The fire is a symbol of purification, a symbol of warmth, a symbol of connection and coming together. And around and at the center of each circle, there is always a fire. It is known to be as the hearth, or the heart of the circle. And as the circle is connected, We allow organically our hands to meet. And we join hands in this circle to know and to remember that we are together, we are not alone. And the fire unites us. The expression of the divine unites us. And we feel the warmth of the hands of the people on our sides. And this warmth builds up from the inside in connection with the fire at the center. And in this vision, we're raising a prayer that Joelle will be saying, will be raising with all of us.
May the path be illuminated for you, each step of the way. May you consider the strength under you, each step of the way. May the sky sprinkle stars above you to guide you all the way. May you understand all insights inside you to keep creating the way.
And with this prayer that is coming from the heart, may your heart be touched. And may you find clarity in moments of your day to attune with the environment, with what nature is showing, is reflecting. And may this equinox, the spring equinox, bring in the energy that is needed for everyone in this circle to blossom. For this circle to blossom.
May it be so. Yeah.
And from this image, we come back to where you are, to where I am. We thank the circle. We thank the fire. And we remember the circle always. May the circle continues. Taking a deep breath in, and as you're breathing in and out, come back to your body, come back to your individuality. Come back again to where you are. Listening, receiving, and also feeling what lands in your body in line with your truth.
Ooh,
All right.
thank you so much.
It's a nice way to
Thank
start.
you so much. Yeah.
It's
very,
always
very
nice to
nice.
tune in. And
Well,
remember,
it's more in harmony with what we're all going through, right? Because it's Aries season. It's about the individual. It's about the sprouting, right? This spark of fire that is starting. But at the same time, we're building up for a full moon in Libra, and it's an air element. It's a connective sign. It's ruled by Venus. So I feel like this tuning in is really speaking to the energies of the moment right now. Like, yes, there is a full moon happening, but at the same time, it's the equinox. And at the same time, it's preparing for another solar eclipse. And, you know, there's so much energetically happening. It's always good to come back to, you know, the fire inside. And like you grounded us so much by this, you know, being in a circle always. Because, you know, the conundrum of Aries is always like the me first, which is not bad, right? Once, like when we're in a body, we need to take care of this me. But at the same time, can you hear me? Yeah. But at the same time, the axis is Libra. It's this connectivity with others. It's like, yes, me first, but how can I as well make place for others? And, you know, this is my introduction for this, you know, season and lunar eclipse. And
thank you, Joelle. Thank you also for the prayer that you raised. When you talk about specific signs, there's always a connection with a meaning. So when you talk about Aries, you're talking about individuation. So that's the general theme of Aries. When you're talking about full moon in Libra, there's that connection with others, which is about communication. So as we're building up, I mean, we are in the auric field of this full moon. It's happening on March 25th.
On the 25th.
Yes. And as we're entering this field, and the fire element is at play, which is brought into the center of the circle. Can we talk a little bit more about first the full moon before we enter, you know, the rest of the, you know, be it the lunar eclipse, because it's eclipses are really points of big
yes
shifts,
big changes.
Yes.
Great beginnings and great endings are known to be the periods of eclipses, which happen 2 times a year, right? Like every 6 months we have a couple of eclipses. The thing is, I honestly, there is so much upheaval and tension around eclipses that I really like to consider it as a medicine, because this is the only way we can, you know, go through these times of change and disruption. So this full moon is a full moon. So you have the sun facing the moon, and at the same time, the moon, which is bright in the sky, which is big like that, is going to be eclipsed. This is where the change comes. It's a lunation. Eclipses are lunations, but somehow there is a sort of a disruption of the light. And this disruption is just a symbol for us to understand that, oh, it's not a normal lunation, because we're people who are used to manifesting with the moon or use the moon cycles to manifest. They're used to, you know, new moon, full moon, every fortnight, every 14 days. This full moon is a replica or a continuation or a tiding for a cycle that started in October 2023. It was we had a solar eclipse in Libra. So either it's going to be an ending of a cycle or a new beginning of another cycle, or just a disruptive, because 6 months ago something happened, at least, you know, for people who are aware on the mundane level. Here it was the start of the upheaval, and now it's kind of taking us towards hopefully towards an answer, towards at least we're gonna see something change, or something new is gonna show up. The thing with this lunar eclipse specifically, and we discussed this a little bit, It's coming right after the equinox, which is already bringing a charge. Aries is charged because we talk about, you know, fire starters. So fire starters can be just a crack of match, and this little match that's starting, it's still not a fire. It needs to be fed to become a stable fire that will take us into Leo, which is the second stable fixed fire sign. So this cardinal energy, this sprouting energy, is somehow disrupted by, oh, there's so much wind coming from the air element of Libra. Is like, is this fire gonna start or not? Are we seeding something? Are we starting a new a new cycle, a new year, this equinox, or are we going to just, you know, have all these matches, all this, you know, trying to crack the fire, and nothing's gonna happen? I have no answer. And I honestly, there's so much volatility in the energies that I want to give it back to you, because this is how you like you felt the energies as well, energetically.
Yeah, yeah. I feel a lot of vulnerability in everything that is happening. And usually the word vulnerability or vulnerable is overused, like the word spiritual, like other words as well. Vulnerability I mean by this at the moment is when there's a sense of overwhelm, there's a lot being felt, there's a lot being sensed, because we perceive things through our senses. And there's moments that I'm stepping into lately of just utter surrender. It's like I'm just doing everything I can. The rest is in the hands of the divine. And you know, since October 2023, you know, the whole story that has been really the narrative for many years is still happening in the Middle East. And Lebanon is highly affected by it on all levels. It is the same land. And even if we disregard or we try to go through our days, we are feeling that upheaval that you're talking about. And that is sometimes the words are not even expressing enough of what is being felt. So there's more silence. There's more like sitting and saying, you know, death is so close that we're accompanying, it is accompanying us every day. And not in a doomy, gloomy way. It's more like, if we don't recognize the proximity of death, how can we learn to live more consciously or more kindly with ourselves and each other? Yeah, what you mentioned is resonates on all levels. You know, even energetically, I'm feeling this volatility. The decisions are taken with such airiness, and there's movement. There's speed. There's a lot of speed through every day, and every day is passing, and then the next day comes, and it's like, yesterday this happened. It's like time again. The definition of time is diluted, is melting. That's what I'm feeling really lately. So it's very much in line with whatever culmination is. And at the same time, you know, when we talk about, when Joelle shares about astrology, again, just to remind the viewers and the listeners, it's also very relevant to see it in your chart, because it depends on the position. Yes, of
course,
right.
It always resonates more when you know where Aries is in your chart, where Libra is in your chart, which topics of life is this highlighting However, the energies are energy. People feel energy. They feel energized, or they feel depleted, or, you know, sense things. You don't need to understand the technicalities of it, but there is an energy of, you know, renewal around spring, Aries, because it's the first fire sign, and it's the first of the, you know, the 12 zodiacs that are going to come.
Yeah, it's really the beginning of the astrological year.
Yes,
Yeah.
the beginning of the astrological year normally is the first new moon in Aries after the equinox. But the thing is, it's going to be an eclipse as well. We're going to talk about it later.
Okay, so this full moon, we tackled a little bit regarding this, the airiness of this full moon. It has a partial lunar eclipse, or
it's a partial lunar eclipse. It's happening at 5 degrees, and the nodes of the moon, which are the ecliptic point, are at 15. So it's going to be, the moon is going to be partially covered, not all of it. But the thing is, because the axis is Aries and Libra, Aries is ruled by Mars and Libra is ruled by Venus. And actually 2 days after we're recording now, Mars will enter Pisces. So the moment this full moon is happening, we're gonna have Venus in Pisces, Mars in Pisces, next to Saturn in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. So all this overwhelm of feeling, all this because Pisces is the sign of feeling the feels. Normally, when we go into Aries season, where Mercury now is next to the sun, we're expecting a bit of dryness, right? Like, yes, it's more fiery. Let's, you know, dry out all this water. But the full moon is happening while all this is still feeling the feeling, right? So that's why I think it's better to just, you know, make a prayer. Think of general, like generally where you would like your life to go. Try not to force manifesting during eclipses times, because I have one of my teachers who says that, you know, eclipses are like the socket of electricity. If you just plug a knife in it, like it's a knife, it's gonna, you know, you're gonna create electrical circuit. So better to just, you know, make prayers, do your own rituals that you do normally. Don't try to force or to use this energy to just, you know, manifest stuff for yourself specifically. The more you're specific, the more, you know, the socket of electricity will tend to blow. So riding the wave, understanding that, you know, it's still a blind spot. We're gonna give the whole April month for us to maybe see, because this blindness of the eclipses is going to continue while Mercury is preparing for its retrograde. So now Mercury is next to the nodes, and it's preparing on the 2nd of April to just go 1st of April, 2nd of April in the morning to go retrograde, which is a normal thing. We have 3 retrogrades per year, for no need to panic for Mercury, but it's adding up to all this kind of, you know, high electricity, high charged energy that we're all feeling. And honestly, grounding, nothing else is coming to my mind, at least. This is what I'm doing. I'm in my body, I'm practicing like a military person. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to put myself on a schedule, because otherwise I'm feeling like everything is chaos.
All right.
And to add to this, we're all feeling the energy of Jupiter Uranus in Taurus. The end of April is bringing us to this conjunction that happens every 14 to 15 years. So it's a new cycle of expansion, but it's still a lot.
Right. Right. Wow. Yeah. I truly, truly enjoy when you share. I don't know astrology. I'm not into the world of astrology. I love this world though. And when I hear you talking about the many elements and I tune in with what you're sharing, it just feels right. It's not defining, but it's kind of reminding. It's like
Yes.
small reminders, small insights, and that's, those episodes that we record together are astrological insights. It's like bringing in bits and pieces of things and
Bits and pieces, yes. It's not really astrological.
grounding. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And we've been talking about, in the previous episodes about how important grounding is. And here we are, it's like it doesn't just happen. We prepare for the next stage. We prepare for the next stage and we are present with now. But we are in the now preparing for what's coming next. And it's like practicing the muscles of being present until, whatever happens, we're being present with it. I mean, if
Yes.
that's what we can do. And beyond that, it's not in our hands, keeping
Thank you
reminding
for
ourselves.
saying this, really. And the way you expressed like you don't know astrology, but I wanted the first thing that came to my mind, yes, but you listen. Because you don't need to know techniques and resources, but the most thing that we all need is listening, deep listening to each other and listening to the fire inside. Maybe this is my message for um, this full moon and this whole Aries season, honestly. This is my insight. It's very personal, maybe
Beautiful.
resonate, maybe not.
Beautiful. And it's very much in line with the equinox because, in the previous episode of the Muse podcast,
With Naila.
With Naila, we were talking about, the warmth will start happening by default. It's not containing the warmth anymore that we do in winter time. We step into spring and warmth is heightened even more.
Yes.
And how can we tap into the element of fire without being burned? As you said, electrocuted, because this can happen. And here we can tap into the nervous system and how much the nervous system is depleted and if there's any adrenal fatigue, if there's any feeling of being tired, which I've been feeling lately, that sense of I need to rest more. I really need to rest more, even though, the weather is changing. But it's getting, it's like spring is peeking from behind the door, but there's still, some rains and winds.
Well, we didn't talk about the new moon in Pisces, but honestly, since we're just opening the conversation now, we've been coming from a Pisces season that was
wet,
like heavy and very much into feeling. And the thing is, people are feeling compassion fatigue. People are overwhelmed. You look around you in the streets. People are just, too much in their fields that at some point you'll not be able to see the fire unless you stop and you ground and you listen inside.
Right.
Otherwise, the fire energy is not going to work out. And I know it's not very astrological. It's more like interpreting what I'm seeing in the skies, but I think, it's relevant to what we're living right now. You and me.
Well, thank you, Joelle. After the full moon, we're talking, with the partial lunar eclipse. Is there anything to highlight before, we still have a bit of time? Is there anything?
A week later, our lovely Mercury, the planet that represents the principle of negotiations, communications, data, facts, transport, travel, doing even in Aries, I could see as well, technology, because it's the fire element. So Mercury in Aries is gonna station retrograde on the 2nd of April. So a week, actually in the corridor of the eclipses, between the full moon, the full moon eclipse, and the new moon eclipse. It's gonna be 1st of or 2nd of April, wherever you are in the world. And this is gonna take us through the journey until the 25th of April. So Mercury is kind of, leading the way in this Aries season to just help us review within this chaos, while we are starting this equinox, how are we going to course correct, to re-listen, redo stuff that relate to our Aries part in the chart, or the fire inside, this sprout of hope that Aries represent, this kind of, I'm gonna just, believe that it's gonna happen and just go all the way. That's the Aries energy. And this is happening on the mental realm. It's happening, it's of course affecting Virgo and Gemini, because they are ruled by Mercury. So if you have Virgo and Gemini a lot in your chart, like some people I dearly love, you are going to feel the feels. And it's not good or bad. It's just keep in mind that in Aries we tend to be like a bit impatient, but the groundedness and the reminder that it's a period, it's gonna go away, but it's gonna be a teacher, because fire is like the divine wisdom, if it's well prepared. Like our lovely Ayurvedic doctor, Dr. Eli Karam, he once told me, like, why are you so afraid of your fire? Fire is the closest element to light. So allowing fire to transform and become light, we will not burn anymore. Like, that's what's happening. And then we have on the 8th of April, the eclipse, the solar eclipse. On the 5th of April, after Mercury starts its retrograde motion, the sun is going to conjunct the point of eclipse. So it's kind of, we might feel like as well more chaotic than usual during this 2 weeks period. The agitation is real, but the thing is, it's good, because after all this compassion fatigue and taking care of everybody's, being aware of everybody's feeling, at some point some individuality is going to bring balance. That's
wow. Okay. And then we check in for the new moon of April.
Hopefully.
In our next episode, hopefully, inshallah.
Good luck, inshallah. Good luck.
I really appreciate, sometimes we spend time sharing about things, Joelle and myself, and we're just laughing at the absurdity and also at the intensity and the feeling, because both of us, we feel a lot, each in their own way, that we have the Aries kind of feeling with the rest of the chart, and we have the Gemini with the stallion in Virgo, and talking about feeling, it's like, how much can I feel, so it's fine-tuning, but the laughter,
the laughter is a great release. Crying
it's
is a good release. And I think
coming.
If we bring
it's coming with
from Pisces, right? If you imagine, the Pisces state is like cry out, cry over, and then in Aries it will dry out to become like a hysterical laughter, like release, release.
Right, right. And you know, there's someone who's a guide in women's circle for women's circles and stuff, and she says to women, crying helps us really purify, you know, and it's beautiful to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying, and when it happens in a place or in a time that it is needed, then it's welcome. So a praise to the tears and a praise to the smiles, as long as they're, you know, coming out and shared from, you know, from here, from now,
Yeah.
being present with everything. Joelle, thank you very much for this. Thank you for showing up for this full moon.
Thank you for the space. Thank you for the muse. Thank you for, you know, I can't wait for the episode. I still didn't have the time to watch the episode with Naila, but please, all of you,
Yes.
you know, Naila from Leap Pattern has
Yes.
a beautiful episode on the Muse podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful one. I enjoyed it, and we'll be recording seasonal episodes with her.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone. Blessed equinox and blessed full moon.
Yeah.
Much
Take care.